Hello students, today I am going to explain you the second chapter from your book Honeydew, and the name of the chapter is The Tsunami. Okay, you all know about tsunami. Have you ever heard about this term? What is tsunami actually? It is a very large and powerful wave caused by earthquake, and that earthquakes come under the sea. Okay, so what happened in the year 2004? On December 26th, a tsunami hit Thailand and some parts of India. Which parts of India? The Andaman and Nicobar Islands as well as Tamil Nadu coast. Okay, so here are few stories. Story of courage and survival after tsunami. Okay, so let's start with the first one. The first one is about a man whose name was Ignatius. He was a manager in a cooperative society in Kutchal. Okay, so what happened? Around 6 a.m., his wife woke him up. Why? Because she felt an earthquake. So, very carefully, Ignatius took his television set off his table and put it down on the ground. Why? So that it would not fall and break because of earthquake. Then the whole family, they rushed out of the house. And when the tremors stopped, tremor means a slight shake. So when the tremors stopped, what they saw? They saw that the sea is rising. And in the chaos and confusion, what happened then? Two of his children, they caught hold of the hands of their mother's father. Mother's father means grandfather, okay, maternal grandfather. And mother's brother means his uncle, and rushed in the opposite direction. So when this happened, then Ignatius was never be able to saw them again. His wife, she was also swept away with the waves, and only the three other children who came with him, they were saved. So in this manner what happened? Ignatius lost his wife, his two children, his father-in-law and his brother-in-law in the tsunami. One more story is there. It was about a policeman whose name was Sanjeev. He was serving also in the Kutchal island of the Nicobar group of island. Clear? So, he managed to save himself, his wife and his baby daughter. Then afterwards, he heard somebody crying for help. These were from John's wife. John, who was John? He was the guest house cook. So what happened then? Sanjeev, he jumped into the water to save her. But what happened then? They both were swept away and drowned. Another story is about a 13-year-old girl whose name was Meghna. What happened to her? She was swept away along with her parents and 77 other people. Then she held on to a wooden door and kept floating on it for around 2 days, Then she was brought to the shore by a wave and finally saved. One more story is about a 10-year-old girl whose name was Almas. What happened? The family was sleeping, but her father had woken up. Why? Because he saw that the water receding after the tremors, and then he knew that it would come back with great force. So he woke up everyone and trying to rush to a safer place. As they ran, his father suddenly fell down. Alma's father rushed to help him. But what happened? Then came a huge wave and swept them both away. Her mother and aunts were washed away too. So they were swept away with the tree they were holding on to. But Almas, she saw a log of wood floating. So suddenly she climbed on it. And then what happened? She got fainted. She woke up in a hospital in Kamorta. And from Kamorta, she was brought to Port Blair. The little girl, she does not want to talk to anyone about that incident. Why? Because still she was greatly shocked as well as distressed. So with this, we have completed our first part. Clear? Now let's move on to the second part of the chapter. This chapter is about a girl whose name is Tilly Smith. She is a British school girl and she was able to save many lives when the tsunami struck Phuket Beach in Thailand. She has won a number of awards, but her parents have not allowed their daughter to be interviewed on television and made into a heroine. So in this story we will learn that how this girl saved many lives. So Tilly's family had come to Thailand from England to celebrate Christmas. It was December 26th. What she was doing over there? She was at the beach along with her family members. Then Tilly and her mother Penny Smith both saw the water swelling. Swelling means rising up. The beach was getting smaller and smaller every moment. Then they saw the sea slowly rise and start to foam. Tilly saw the sea making whirlpools. Now, Tilly's mother was not alarmed by these signs, but Tilly remembered the video that her geography teacher had shown in the class 2 weeks before. It occurred to her that these were the sure signs of tsunami. So she started screaming and she asked her family to go off the beach. The mother did not sense anything terrible. She, however, felt that her daughter must be right. Then Tilly's parents took her and her sister to the swimming pool at the hotel. Many others also left the beach with them. Then it was as if the entire sea had come after them. The family took refuge in the third floor of the hotel. Then the building withstood the force of the tsunami. If they had stayed on the beach, they would have been dead. The Smiths later met other tourists who were there on the beach and who had lost their entire families. They were giving thanks to Tilly and her geography lesson. Then Tilly went back to her school in England and told everything to her classmates. Everybody was feeling proud of her. Tilly received the Thomas Gray Special Award from 2nd Sea Lord Vice Admiral Sir James Bernal Nugent in the year 2005. She is also known as the Angel of the Beach. See children, we have also learned one lesson from this story. And what is that? The girl was quite attentive when the lesson was given in the class. Then only, through that lesson only, she was able to save many lives. Now students, the last story of this chapter is about the animal sense. Okay, so what happened? Before the giant waves slammed into the coast in India and Sri Lanka, what happened then? Wild and domestic animals, they seemed to know what was about to happen, and so they fled to safety. Actually, some people believe that animals possess a sixth sense. Okay, and tsunami killed around 1,50,000 people, but only a few animals died. Some people also believe that animals have more acute hearing, which helps them to hear or feel the earth's vibration. They can easily sense an approaching disaster just before human being realize. Okay, so what happened then? We cannot be sure whether animals have a sixth sense or no, but the fact is that the giant waves that rolled through the Indian Ocean killed more than 1,50,000 people. And along India's Cuddalore coast, where thousands of people perished. Okay, they were destroyed. But buffaloes, goats and dogs, they were found unharmed. In Yala National Park in Sri Lanka, 60 visitors were washed away, but only 2 animals died. In the same park, people had observed 3 elephants. They ran away from the beach an hour before the tsunami hit. Okay. A man on the coast near Gale in Sri Lanka had 2 dogs, and on that fatal day of tsunami, those dogs refused to go to the beach with their master. So, the master too stayed back. Thus, in this manner, the dog had saved his life also. Why it happened? Maybe because of the sixth sense. Maybe the dog was knowing about the incoming disaster. So, in this manner, animals, due to their sixth sense, sometimes help us to know about the incoming disaster. So, this was the end of this chapter.